people don't have to wait. Oh, oh, we're live, boys. Look at that. We're live. That's the first 5 seconds. Oof. Excuse me. Oh man, ready for another stream, boys. Twice in a week. Gonna be live on YouTube as well, by the way. So feel free to check that out. As just a regular video. It's gonna be. I mean, it depends how long we want to make it. But I think it'll be probably like last time. So probably about an hour to hour and a half of reading up some crazy stories that I can find. I actually kind of pre-read one, and it was really good. Um, Anyway, what's going on? Nick Daniels coming at you live, man, yet again. I'm gonna like get this webcam. I think just a bit more like angled. Like it's just a bit. That might be better. I don't like where like I'm way to the right. On there. Oh, Mike P. Mike P. Right away, man. We got someone coming in. What is what is up, man? Worst state have been on. Girl basically didn't talk at all. Had to 100% carry the conversation. Brother, listen, that's every day, man. That's every day. Let me get this webcam here for you, boys. There, I think that'll do okay. Man, that's a lot of dates, man. I find if you don't have something to interact with, it can go very, very sour, very, very quick. You know, you have to have something interactive. You know, you got to have a game, or you got to, you know what I mean. You got to be somewhere that can go well. Let me know if the audio and visual looks okay. By the way, I think the webcam's fine, but it could be a little. It could probably be lower, but whatever. It's okay. So anyway, on the topic for today, man, it's going to be mainly some horror stories I can find on Reddit. I've already found a couple good ones, and I'm really looking forward to talking about them. As you can tell, my excitement is off the charts. Just say a little bit about what's going on with the channel. You know, obviously, feel free to just throw out questions and answers and whatever you guys are on your mind. Because that's the point. And I'll make sure to have the live replay as well. So you guys, if you guys are watching on YouTube, you'll be able to see when people were coming in and chatting. And I think that's a big thing with that. So bear with me here for just a moment. And we are going to go from there. 1 second here. There we go. We got some Reddit. We got some Reddit over there. Yeah, because it's just a big thing. I do like going on the Reddits here, but I'm always on the ask r/ask Reddit. That's always where you find these date fails and things like that. And some of the horror stories I was reading there on well, I don't even know what that was, Tuesday, were just insane. I think that looks good. Yeah, that looks good. Okay. Okay. What's Mike P saying here? Had a friend who gave some chick a Dutch oven. IDK, man, I've basically given up on dating at this point. Would rather just have sex than go back to peace and quiet. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But you know what, man? It's a battle, and that's the fun of it. You know what I mean? You know, sometimes you win, and a lot of times you're gonna lose. But when you do win, it works out. I mean, I have a date lined up this weekend for an arcade, and I'm really looking forward to it quite a bit. Which this is funny. We haven't even gotten into the Reddit yet, man. We're just getting questions. What's your favorite opinion about prostitution or more massage parlors rather than dating long-term commitment? Dude, are you talking about like a massage parlor with like a happy ending? Because that would be hilarious and probably illegal somewhere. I mean, I don't really care if you want to do that kind of work. That's fine. I have nothing wrong with that. Like the ladies of the evening. I'm just saying I'm not paying for sex. I mean, I'd rather just watch some Pornhub and just be done with it. You know, do the deed. Like, I don't know, man. It's just I don't think that's gonna be worth that money. My coworker though used to do that a lot. He used to get like a prostitute on like Christmas and stuff like that and treat himself, as he would call it. Not my cup of tea, but again, like all respect to you if you're working in that industry. But you know what? You could probably make a lot of money too. On the other coin, I mean, I don't think for men, but for women. We're gonna read one story real quick, and then we'll jump back and forth with the chat here. So, without any further ado, everybody, let's get into it here. We're gonna get a good start on this. So yeah, we're gonna read this story from Electron Shock 9 years ago. Don't think we have to worry too much about that. Now, there's a link with a chat here, but the chat it's just a really weird conversation. I did kind of read it first, so we're just going to talk about the actual story here. Like, let's just go with that. But they texted a little bit back and forth, you know, and whatever. Uh-oh, Mike P. Nesh is retracted. Oh, man. Don't worry about it. They've already seen it. They know it's there. Asked about prostitutes. I like it. So here we go. We met at a local pub for drinks and we got chicken fingers. You know, it's actually pretty funny. I think if you get like a shareable, like you get an appetizer and a first date, it's pretty good actually. Because you can like share some nachos or something like that. That's good. And it's, you can talk while you're, in between snacking. So good so far. The conversation is terrible, but I notice. Okay, this is guy's perspective. But I notice she's taking the chicken fingers and ripping them up in her hands and putting the breading in her huge purse. Can you do that with a chicken strip? Chicken fingers? Can you get? They're not really like that loose, right? Like breadcrumbs. Like I use shake and bake here on chicken wings, and they're. I mean, yeah, you can kind of get a little bit of the breadcrumbs off, but I mean, I wouldn't be doing that. That's a weird thing. She plopped the thing in the middle of the table and just kind of chilled out. I played with the chinchilla a bit. Okay, she had a pet apparently, and she kind of got mad at me for playing with it. And back in the purse it went. Lady had a chinchilla in her purse. Clearly, maybe I should have read the link. Cool. I was ready to call it and leave, but she mentioned we could go for some ice cream, and I was cool with it. Ice cream on a date, man. You go for the cone? Always a good time. So we go to Ben and Jerry's. Must be some joint. We get to talking about tattoos and piercings, and tells me she has nipple piercings, and I'm like, oh. And she just pulls down her shirt. Oh, okay. I was thinking you, like, pull up your shirt, if anything. Pulls down her shirt. In the middle of Ben and Jerry's at, like, 8 p.m. and shows me her nips. I was just kind of poker-faced. That must mean, like, he had no reaction, I'm assuming. Like, he wasn't like, wow. Like, they do that in, like, porn videos? They're just like, oh my god. Like, nobody does that. So I decided to walk her to a car. She attacks me, and she was kind of cute, so I made out with her. Sort of. Her lips were tense the whole time, and she licked my teeth. Interesting. I haven't heard of that one before. I friended her on Facebook. I don't even know why you're friending her on Facebook after the fact of that. And she had a Facebook page for her chinchilla that had more Facebook friends than I did. A few months later, the chinchilla died, and its Facebook was a memorial page where a bunch of people, like 35, commented on how they missed it. I liked one of the statuses, and she called me crying. I unfriended her, but not the chinchilla. Why is there a chinchilla? Why was that more important than the date? I don't understand. Like, what's going on here? That's kind of funny. Okay, I read this one briefly before I started the stream. Really good. Rain Mana K44. That's what I think the name is. Met up with a girl for the first time after talking for a few weeks. Nothing wrong with that. She's attractive, fun, lots of things in common. Good so far. During the date, she keeps checking her phone and acts annoyed by someone. Finally, she apologizes for it and tells me some creepo stalker dude that won't leave her alone. Oh, that's interesting. And I guess to prove it, she calls him, on the date, by the way, too. That's interesting. Calls him and loudly says, stop contacting me or I will call the police. And then you forward to the end of the date. She says she had a good time and wants to do it again sometime whenever. Kind of flirty. Then outside, before she gets in the car, she gives me a long, passionate kiss and then says, call me, and winks. That's a weird way to leave a date, though, too. Call in 2 days. Okay, sorry. I call a couple days later, no answer. Text the next day, no answer. Call in 2 days, and finally she answered the phone and says kind of loudly, stop contacting me or I'm calling the police. I could just see her on her date playing the stalker victim again. 100% what that girl was doing. I've never actually, like, I've never really heard anything like that before. That's pretty nuts to me. What is this, bro? Oh, that's a lot. Oh, what the fuck? Okay, we're gonna go through that. We're gonna go through that in a second. That's creepy, bro. And it's just like it really puts a bad vibe out there because, like, I really hate to say that, but it sounds like you're clearly just out for one thing. You're getting dinners. Okay, read this one real quick here. This is interesting. So I've posted this before in another thread, but there's a conversation with a girl I had at OkCupid. She was being super creepy and stalkerish, saying things like girls can't be stalkers, only guys can be stalkers, r/men's rights, check it out. Pay attention to the timestamps. She stretched this for almost a week. Okay, so let's just open up the chat. I've never done an OkCupid like chat in the video before. This will be interesting. So, and yeah, we don't have names or anything, so that's good. So, okay, so she's in the red here, you can see, and then the blue is him. Is this what OkCupid looked like back in the day, man? Because, like, I know I've reviewed it in 2022, and I mean, it looks a little different. Why haven't you sent me a message? And he goes, I'm sorry, this is the first message I've gotten from you. Hi there. I visit your profile every day. You're really cute. Bruh. Haha, thanks. Wow, he played that off well. Haha, thanks. I guess. So, your profile says you're into comics. What's your favorite title? I'm still mad at you. Bro. Mad at me for what? I'm mad at you because you never sent me a message. Before just now, like I said, this is the first message I'd gotten from you. Have you tried sending one before? That's not the point. When a girl looks at your profile, you should send her a message. Does it say on OkCupid? Does it say that? That they viewed you? Because that happened on Plenty of Fishmen, and I'm telling you, I did not message them. Well, okay, that's a lie, but once in a while. It means they like you. It's rude not to respond. They could view your profile and just, like, not be interested, you know? I visit your profile every day. I know you come on at every day at night. I see it in your profile. You should see me and your visitors. Holy crap. I do log in every night, but only check my messages. If you wanted to talk to me, you could have. I'm a friendly enough fella. Lol. He ruined it. He ruined it. I'm the girl. I shouldn't have to send you the first one. You should send me first one. That's why I visit you every day. Oh my god. That's crazy, man. It doesn't show, according to Eric Simpson here. That's what I thought. She's nuts, man. What the hell? And I hate this. I'm the girl. I shouldn't be messaging you first. Get out of here. If you like him, message him. Okay, I know you log on at 10 every night. I wait for you to log on. Bro, if a guy said this, dude, the police would be inbound. I hit refresh so I know you get on. Don't lie to me. Oh. This is good. I didn't dispute that I log in at night. I don't know what you mean about lying to you, but I must admit, I'm not sure it's endearing or concerning that you're waiting for me each night behind the scenes. I'm pretty sure, by the way, and I could be wrong, in 2013, OkCupid, you actually had, like, you didn't have your, you didn't have your name on it. Like, it wouldn't be like Nick Daniels. You could, like, put a username, right? So people would just put, like, random, like, fake names and aliases, right? Because it was more, like, confidential in that sense. So I wonder, like, you don't even know this person, man. It's not creepy. I'm just trying to let you know I like you. I've been waiting for over a month, and a month, bro! Holy smokes! Well, like I said, this is the first message I've ever gotten from you. I don't know how I could be ignoring you if I'd never heard from you until tonight. A month is too long to wait. She's not getting it. A month is too long to wait. I can't waste like a waistline. Waste my time like this. Oh my god. I even saved your pics to my phone. So I could see your cute face all the time, but what you did was ignore me. I didn't mean to be wasting your time, but you're the one who decided to stalk me for a month before messaging me. Ugh. I'm not a stalker. Only guys can be stalkers. What do you mean? Only guys can be stalkers. When a guy follows a girl, it's creepy. When a girl follows a guy, it's cute. Yeah, I don't agree with that either. And then, of course, here it comes. You're being sexist. I just wanted to talk to you, but you kept ignoring me. Now you're calling me a stalker. You say seriously. You say you visit my profile every day. You save pictures of me. You wait for me to log in at night, hitting refresh to make sure you know the exact moment I log in. And you said you've been doing this for over a month. I'm sorry, but yeah, that's a tad bit creepy. And I have no idea how I'm being sexist. How was I ignoring you when you never sent me a message? And she goes, "You're mean." And then hello, because he didn't respond for like 10 minutes. I don't mean to be rude, but I appreciate if you stop messaging me. Can you not block? You must be able to block on there. Fine. All I want to do is talk. Though you were cute, but you ignored me for over a month. You're the one who was being mean. I'll stop messaging you now. That's not true. Then hello. Then it's the next day. I know you're on here. I just want to talk. Then it says you're ignoring me again. Fine, this will be my last message. I just wanted to try to talk to you. Do you want me to delete your pics from my phone? Just let me know. I just want to know if you want me to delete your pics. The least you could do is respond. I know you're there. Yes, please still delete my pictures. Fine, if you want to be an asshole, I'll stop messaging now. I don't know why you had to be so mean. Then the next day, can we talk? I still have your pics, I'm sorry. This will be my last message. I just wanted to talk to you. Why are you ignoring me? I'll stop messaging you now. And then the next one, hello. I'm sure it kept going. Holy crap, mate. Man. That's crazy. Oh, no, there's more. There's more. It says next. Oh, never mind. Okay. You can tell I don't know what's going on here. Oh, that's cute. Yeah, that's adorable. It's a little doggo. But God, man, that's crazy. That's crazy. Mike P. Or you message them and they immediately, it's like, WTF, why swipe on me for... Yeah, that's a big thing, man, like, with online dating, it's kind of a sham, and I mean, I think we've all kind of done it, but, yeah, like, I'll get a match on Tinder, and sometimes it's actually really rude, but, like, I'll go to message them, and they just unmatch me immediately. Or you go message them, and they'll just message you, and you're like, you're ugly, I'm not interested. Well, why did you even swipe on me? It takes two to... You have to swipe on me to get a match. You know, I don't understand that. Crazy. Crazy. Alright, let's move on. Apparently wrong. That's funny. I met a girl on eHarmony. Dude, he's like one of the lucky people that ever met a woman on eHarmony. 7 years ago, I go to pick her up from her dorm. That's actually pretty young for eHarmony. Then, if you're like in university / college and you're on eHarmony, that's young. The demographic is not really like below 30. Anyway, first thing she wants to do is drive to Planned Parenthood so she could get some morning after pills. Apparently, she had gotten wasted the night before and had lots of unprotected sex. That would be something I would not want to hear at all if I were to get a date. Classy lady. I ended up driving her there. I don't know why you would. It wasn't that far away. The whole way there, she keeps going on about being pro Anna. Okay, and talking about how she wanted to experiment with pot, but she was afraid that it'd make her want to eat if she did pot. That was the first and the last time that he met up with her. That's hilarious. Uh-huh. Wow. Wowee. 1 second there, Eric. Let's read this one. Another drunk Canadian. Hey, brother. Hey. We meet up, and she's immediately asking me about my job and salary. That's an interesting question. I don't mind, like, giving that information. I think it should be kind of like a common thing in a workplace, too. I think it should be very excellent to be talking about your salaries. I think there's no reason. It entices you to try to get better salaries. But that's interesting that a date would ask that. We have a similar job with it being a new role, and she's been there for a while, so she's making more than I am. That's good. We go for some drinks. I hit the bathroom. When I come back, there are 3 drinks on the table. 1 for me and 2 for her. Interesting. Maybe this means I'm getting lucky. She could get really drunk. I mean, that's kind of greasy, but that's cool. She downs her drinks and orders another 2. That's not a good sign. I'm not gonna lie, it's not a good sign. I'm still working on my 1. I actually match, if I go for a drink, I try to match the speed of who I'm on a date with. So like if I'm with a girl and she's going kind of fast, I might try to keep up a little bit. I'm not a big drinker. I don't enjoy getting drunk. I don't think that's fun. I like getting a buzz, but that's it. But if she's like sipping her beer, like I would just sip my drink and enjoy the date. I would do that rather than getting like 2 or 3. Like I think the most I've ever had on a drink date was 2. You know, so if they're going 2 off the hop and then 2, yeah, that's not a good sign. She starts talking about her friend is getting married and she's single and her life isn't going anywhere. Then she starts crying and then she calls her friend and invites her out on our date. So listen, when you go on a date with someone, okay, you have like, it's a 2-way street, right? There's communication from both ends, right? So like, you guys agree to a location or whatever you do. And the last thing I think you should ever do on a date, there are certain things, but one of them is like not talk about exes, not start crying about how your life's going nowhere, because you should kind of be self-sufficient to a point or hold yourself together after the date, and then maybe you can do that. And then to invite someone else on the date, while on the date, that person doesn't know is not respectful to the person you're on a date with. Next thing you know, she's in the bathroom barfing, too much beer, and she comes back covered. Oh, like covered in barf. She's crying. She pooped herself, and she doesn't have any money on her. And she hopes I don't mind being stuck with the $100 bill. For the drinks. So he gets cashed up for all the money for the drinks, which she had obviously had the very much majority, and makes more money. They got that apparently established out of the get-go, which I mean, it depends, like who asked who out, but you're willingly taking advantage of someone if he's paying. I don't know if it was supposed to be like split or what. The whole like barfing and pooping yourself, I don't really know what's going on there, but that's just kind of disgusting on a first date. I hate to say it, but it is like an interview. You have to make some kind of first impression. And if that's the impression you're going to leave, that's a lasting impression you're going to leave with the other person. It's not good. She messages me the next day telling me I'm a jerk for not calling her and that maybe we should try getting together again that night. No, thank you. I mean, if a girl called me the day after I met her and, like, immediately got mad at me that I wasn't calling her, I would have been like, no, we're not going So this is actually another one here. This is Ask Women on a subreddit, but we're gonna go with only the worst. Um, yeah, only the worst stories that they put on here. So 1 second here. Let's. I just want to. I'm skim reading here. Excuse me. Uh, oh, here's something. Okay, this is I talk about this all the time. So this is coming for 8 years ago from Your Story Now. We're gonna read this little tale up here. Let's read what Eric's got for us though before. And that was I think he's referring to the text messages there. That's beyond psychotic. Either it's someone messing with him or someone that needs to be locked up in a straitjacket in a padded room. I'd probably agree on a little bit of both, but it didn't. That did not seem to me to be fake. That that looked bad, real bad. Okay, so we're gonna just read this top one here, like these two paragraphs here. So if this one is like asking your best and worst. So obviously we want the worst. Worst. Guy I made the mistake of texting way too much before meeting in person. He was already calling me his girlfriend to his friends. I mean, it's not really like fundamentally one of the reasons why. But I often say that all the time to people that something you really want to try to avoid is like texting way too much before meeting. There's a guy I know from a game that we've played before, and he mentioned that he was a little newer to online dating and started talking to this girl, and they were like texting, like 5 hours straight, like right back and forth. And then it would be like throughout the week or something, it'd be like every 15 minutes that she would text back, and he didn't like that. He was not getting happy with that, because like she was responding very, very quickly before, and now it wasn't as quickly. I'm usually happy if I get one message a day. So, I mean, that's pretty good. And I think you like evaluate and you grow. And maybe some people really like texting a lot more, but I think you just run dry. You just kind of stop having things to talk about as much. And you get to the point where the conversation is just stale and you know everything about this person. Like, you know what they do for a living. Like, I want to leave things, like, to the date, right? I can meet them and then maybe, like, even if I know a little bit about the date, I can get more information about what's going on there. Yo, what's going on, man? Thanks for coming in. The old 7-step survival. I've seen you in there multiple times, my friend. Thank you for joining the stream. And thank you to everybody watching, by the way, too. I should say that. I was missing my my quotas for saying that. So yeah, anyway. So yeah, way too much texting, and the guy already said that he was that with his girlfriend, which is that's really not good. When we met, I instantly knew there was zero physical attraction. His photos were obviously old upon seeing him in person. I'm actually not opposed to like an old photo or two. They don't have to be like something that you took this week. But I mean, it's got to definitely represent you. Like, if I was like 250 pounds and then I'm down to 150 pounds, that's a big difference. You want to have a photo that's more recent. But I mean, if I'm still the same size, or I'm still 250 pounds, that's fine to have the photo up, and it could be 2-3 years old. It doesn't matter. But I have to look like it. Like, it's got to look like me. Like, they need to know what they're expecting to see, right? And it goes both ways. So definitely a little bit maybe of a catfish there. He was very pushy. He kept asking me increasingly personal questions and getting upset that I wasn't open with him. Man, it's an interesting topic that this Reddit post says that, because I find dates are usually, you want to have them as casual as possible, if that makes sense. I always try to make something that's a little bit not too intimate. Like I know people like will roast the coffee dates, and I do sometimes too. But going to get like a drink is very casual. People know that that's usually a casual thing. Coffee's very much more casual, and it's not so intimidating, so people aren't so nervous, and they might open up a bit more. But you normally don't open up a lot on a date. You normally just get like casual conversation, and you get to just know the person a bit, rather than being like, like you wouldn't ask me very personal questions. I don't think you would on a date. You can. But I'm not on the first date. Not normally. I cut him off after that night, but he knew I was active in a meetup group. Oh, that's actually kind of greasy. So he showed up to an event I was at a few months later. I was there with a guy I was kind of seeing, and he decided to corner this guy and talk at length about our amazing connection and haunt makeout, which they never had. And she was mortified. That's actually pretty funny that I mean, Meetup, you can't, like, obviously you can't be like, okay, well, like, he's going, and now I'm gonna, like, block him, you're not the owner, so you have to, like, put up with that, but obviously it was in the back of her mind, this man is showing up, and it's gonna be a problem. Let's see what's going on here. Been loving the videos, Nick. Saw the legend was live, and I knew that I had to tune in for this one. Man, listen, I appreciate that. I've seen you on there recently. I'll just take a step back from the dating for just a second. We'll talk, just talk YouTube for a moment. But my goal is to try to get those 1,000 subscribers. That's the hardest goal you'll reach, right, on YouTube. And someone today, I was on Reddit, and I shared my channel for feedback. And someone told me that I should be, like, in my online dating videos, I should be saying, like, things at work or my successes and things like that. Or, like, and the other one is I should be editing a lot more. Like, I should be putting, like, sound cues or different camera angles, like, you know, where they zoom in on the funny videos. And I said, you know what? I said, I actually disagree with that because I think I'm more relatable to people. And I think that's why my audience is slowly growing, and I have been noticing it. It's 888 right now. That's a lot. That's big. That's big to me. My views are getting way more consistent. I like interacting in these live streams. This is actually probably one of my new favorite things because I can talk to you guys directly, right? You know, I'm not commenting behind. You get to see the personality himself. And I was like, man, I kind of disagree, right? Like, I don't want to do all that over editing, and I want to be relatable, you know? You know, there are successes and there are fails. There's a lot more fails with online dating, and I think that's why people enjoy them. They see that, and they go, man, there's another person out there like me, right? Hey. Yeah, that's just me. Yeah, and I mean, listen, you gotta roast the coffee dates. That was a slight pun, but yeah, like people roast the coffee dates a lot, and I think it's hilarious because they're not really that bad, but at the same time, they can. People have different opinions, and I think there's way too many things with dating now. We were out last night having a trivia night, and dating usually gets brought up as a joke, and I was saying about the hug on a first date, and people were arguing that there's, like, too many cues and things like that, and it's like, yeah, that's true. Like, there's too many now, right? Might pee here. It's hard, though, because different things work for different people, and that's exactly it, man. I'm not much more of a comedy channel. I like to bring it to you guys live, and I like to bring it real, so I don't think that over-editing really works for the channel. But for other channels that are more into, like I would call it, like, meme content, I think it does. And I think that, like, the zoom ins and the random camera angles, you know, and the funny swooshing sound effects, they all work for them. But that's not me, and it never will be, you know. But personally, I think it's kind of cancer, and I don't like watching that content. But you know, that's what it is. All right, let's move on here. We got a couple worst ones here. So worst, who boy, here we go. And this comes from us to Goanna, from 8 years ago. I like when they're like 10 years ago too, because online dating was on a different phase there, right? Like it was a little fresher. So keep that in mind. So that's why you see a lot of like OkCupid, Plenty of Fish. You'll see a lot of those bigger names in these stories because that's really where they took off. So this is 3 guys. Guy number 1. One guy who never stopped talking about his job the entire date. He'd break his stream of words to ask me close-ended questions and then go right back to his job. That's really, like, I wouldn't even know if I'd say that's, like, egotistical, but it's really, like, self-centered to just come into a date and just talk about you. But I see a lot of the dates when people have problems, at least my dates anyway, it's actually that I'm not talking about me. It's that I'm asking them questions that are trying to be open-ended, and they won't give me anything. So to ask close-ended questions is really not good. Like the ones that are specifically like yay or nay or whatever, you're just going to get one-word answers, and you'll never get anything out of her. And then he told me he had severe depression and was into BDSM, just in case we ever get into a serious relationship. We met half an hour ago, dude. Calm down. That's really awkward. Obviously, they didn't have a date too. I can assume. One guy who was kind of awkward, about 60 pounds heavier than his pictures, but nice. And I do say that. I said that earlier. You got to really show a present picture. You got it. You have to. You should. Even if it's a little, like, if it's a hair difference or something, right? But nice anyway. 1 a.m. sent me a rambling text that ended with, I was majorly caught off guard by your boobs. Like, holy crap, man. And I mean that in a non-creepy way. That can't be a non-creepy way. Thanks for playing. He's out. One guy I never met up with because out of nowhere he said, I want to orally your smelly, unshowered, hairy, the JJ. And then when I said, okay, I changed my mind, I will never be meeting you, he proceeded to send me a text 1 to 3 times a day over a month. And the same text, it would just say, hey, OP, what's up? You disappeared, haha. Week is starting to free up. You still want to go meet me for a pint. And then obviously, yeah, never meet up. You can't be super sexual when you haven't even met them. That usually never really works out. Yeah, that never really works out. My wildest first date was in Wilston, ND from Tinder. I was 22 and she was 36. Whoa, bro, that's crazy. We are eating doing sushi. Sushi night on a first date is interesting actually, because you could do the buffet and share some things, and it wouldn't be too bad, right? You're not chewing all the time, so you can talk. Then went back to her house where we drank margaritas, and she asked me if I wanted to. Oh, he's probably okay. I think Mr. Seven here is typing. Well, maybe do the deed anyway, is what I'm hearing. Oh boy, after a sushi night, man. If you get a sushi night buffet though, you can't even walk after that. You gotta I don't know, man. You gotta really you gain pounds. Okay, so we're gonna another one here from the second mistress, from 8 years ago. Let's see here. Okay. The most annoying, definitely would have to be the married men. Oh my god. The sheer amount of men I've spoken to or gone out with that just end up being married wears me out. It wouldn't be nearly as painful for me if all these guys were just looking for NSA sex, no strings attached. But I have gotten involved with two men on relationship tracked dating who ended up being married. One of them came clean when we realized we were both developing feelings. The only one I caught when I searched his number on Facebook. That's hilarious, man. If you were married, man, and you were on online dating sites and then you're luring in women like that, or the other way around, that is terrible. The most cringeworthy. This is the one I wanted. This is the one I picked this one for. I started talking to one guy who had super cute photos. He was incredibly charming over text, so I was smitten. He played guitar. We Skyped once, and he played guitar and sang for me. That's cute. That's really cute. And it was very fun. We had made plans to hang out the next day. I drove over as he lived about an hour from me, and the first thing I noticed, his photos were probably pretty old. The hour difference away, by the way, is pretty crazy, but I've done it too. But anyway, not a big deal. He was still cute. Pictures were old, but we had gotten on pretty well, so we want to see what kind of chemistry we're talking about. We hang out, and he mostly just plays guitar for me, a couple hours. Are they just, at his house? I'm not understanding this story. I keep trying to get his attention elsewhere and strike up a conversation, but he would interrupt me in the middle of a question to start playing another song. I kissed him on the cheek a couple times to try to get his attention and figured maybe I can kiss this guy in the lips and get him to look at to put down the damn guitar, but no good. So I was so annoyed he wouldn't even look at me. The guy was just so into his guitar, it's hilarious. Eventually, he pulled out his phone, and we laid on his bed and started watching funny YouTube videos. Things started to relax a bit, and I leaned up against him, and he grabbed my hand and placed it on his penis, and he kept rebuffing my advances all night for kissing, but wants to just casually place my hand on his meat baton. It was super friggin' awkward, and I made up some lame excuse and left. That's exactly what you gotta do. It's just so weird that, that's why I don't go over to someone's place on the first date, too, because you never know when things are gonna get awkward like that. But at least he wasn't forceful or anything. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that's a bonus to the story that the guy. Yeah. Anyway, that's crazy. She gave me all this stuff from a vial. Clear liquid, tasted salty. I forgot what she said it was. Anyway, she tossed my salad in the shower that night, and it was crazy. Dude, if I'm understanding what the salad is, I think you had yourself an okay time. I'd be worried about waking up with my kidneys missing, bro. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. You go over to a girl's place, or a guy comes over to a girl's place first date, man. You'll be fucking gutted up in the bathroom. I don't know what's going on. Still got both my kidneys. Both my messages visible. Yeah, sorry, man. I get into the story, and I see you guys will comment something, and I just want to I want to keep rambling on the story, but I do see it, so I will comment to them. But bear with me. Bear with me. I get into it. Okay, I get into it. You can tell I actually very much enjoy reading these stories. This is a long-ass story, bro. It seems something about a bog witch. I think we're going to read this. Oh, and dude, after the stream, man, I'm going to rewatch Saving Private Ryan. I haven't seen that in years. I watched that All Quiet on the Western Front, and it made me want to go back to Private Ryan. because I do remember that it is a pretty darn good movie, if I remember correctly. We were talking war movies last night because of that on our trivia, and we were saying like Hacksaw Ridge, 1917, Dunkirk, all like relatively new movies, all really well done. I'd say Hacksaw Ridge though, that was really good. Really good movie. Okay. My time to shine. We're getting this from Definitely Not Blitz. Allow me to tell the tale when I went on a date with a lover, crafty and horror. Okay. A girl messaged me one night on OkCupid. Just a funny thought, by the way. I'm on OkCupid just as a kind of a joke. I have like literally like 300 matches, and they're all from the Philippines. Like, they're all just a bunch of hotties from the Philippines that are just like eager to get my visa. And because my dollar's like 42 times better. Like they're messaging me first. Like I'm not even coming to them. They're coming to me. It's like, well, what the hell, man? I thought it's freaking hilarious. Anyway, so she messaged me on OkCupid. The message was short and went something like this. Hey, you're cute and I love zombies too, which he had in his profile. That's funny. I'm a zombie actor. Text me and my number. I would think that's a scam account right away. If they give you your number like that and they're like, yo, text me, babe, or like, yo, can we talk off Tinder? Like right away, I get kind of scared. Yeah, that being said. She looked really decent in the picture she had up. She only had one picture apparently. Which should really be in a red flag. I texted her and she wanted to set up a date for the following Monday. January 3rd, 2011. Wow, many days ago. You should look up the German Stalingrad, also Das Boot, are both good super good German World War II movies. Yeah, I mean, I can't say I've seen Stalingrad. I saw Enemy at the Gates, and I know obviously it's not like they're not always 100% historically accurate, right? But you get the idea in the movie pretty quickly what's going on. I will definitely keep those in mind, man. I love a good war movie. So, the other one I was thinking of too was Fury, the tank movie there, with Brad Pitt. That was interesting. But some of like the older ones, I think really, like Saving Private Ryan, in my opinion, really gets the mood across really quickly. Where I think like Dunkirk was more about like the anticipation of what would come, right? But I think, to each their own, right? And different takes. Obviously on different wars and whatever too, but... so anyway, fast forward to that night, and I'm driving up to pick her up. And I don't like doing the pickup on the first date normally. I hate that it's always the other way around, that it's like, oh, like, strange men shouldn't be picking up women. And I'm like, yeah, I don't want a strange woman in my car either. I don't know what's going to... I could lose a kidney. So she didn't have a job. Oh, she didn't have a car or a job. So, let me get this straight. One picture, okay? Messaged him first with her phone number, 2 red flags. No job or car. I'll just count that as 3 red flags. Wow. When my GPS led me to an empty grassy field, I called her and she told me to wait in the lot nearby of Panera Bread. That can be interesting because maybe that's actually like, I don't want you to know where I live. And it's also like, there could be a reason behind that of being like, I'm embarrassed of where it is. Or I don't like, maybe she's trying to be like, like secretive, for her safety, but you're getting in the car anyway. So I don't understand it. I called her and she told me to wait in the field, in the parking lot. I waited a few minutes, but after I see a figure emerge from the tree line at the back of the field, I could see it was my date in the tree line. What is this? Is it like the movie The Village, where it's like it's like the hooded creature will come into the village and it's like it's the thing we do not speak of. That's what they say. That's what this sounds like, man. What the hell? Her hair was black and greasy in front of her face. Dude, this is like The Ring, bro. She wore the billowy fishnet thing that kind that have hit her figure. But the worst part is her lazy eye just lolled and rolled about in her socket and would just settle and stare just several inches from my face. So it seemed she was staring at an invisible horn growing at the side of my head. I should have fled, but I was too nice of a person, and this bog witch wanted to go on a date. Then I'll do it. A bog witch, bro. If a date ever just randomly appeared outside of a tree line that I was just to go get, I'd probably leave too. We go inside, and I immediately discover I have a pet peeve for people who talk several decibels higher than everyone else. So she's obviously has a very high-pitched voice. I grab us a booth in the far corner so she doesn't end up shouting over the entire conversation. I say, she was sorry, just loud. So tell me about herself, is what he says to her, which was probably the worst possible question to ask. Same as if you do that to Yorin, my boy. He's from overseas, kind of a Viking, kind of not. And someone asked him what was new, and he's like, "You got to be more specific." Is his answer. I was like, "Okay, don't ask him that." She begins with talking about how she's not like other girls, how she can pull off the goth, emo, punk look all at once, and that most of her friends are furries. Oh, God. And they'd love to meet me. She's looking for a new obedient sub. She enjoys watching trainee threesomes, she loves foot torture. What even is foot torture? Like, is that where you just, like, tickle someone with a feather? Now, this is definitely the third red flag. Or that's, like, the fifth. But at this point, I made my bed and I'm sleeping in it. She asked me about myself, and I don't even understand, like, the furries or, she wants a sub. Like, okay, you got a mistress, bro. There's nothing wrong with that. And he goes about his very normal hobbies, and I love that in, like, comparison, the hobbies, and interest. And she's fighting me all along the way, telling me that airsoft promotes gun violence, and that I'll never go anywhere with a degree in graphic design. Well, those two comments, she's very foolish. I'll say that, but we'll come back to that. She cuts me off, and asks me how, to talk about about any female friends I have. I begin to describe a few when she keeps jutting in with, she sounds like the B word here, and I don't think she likes you. I stop and ask her if she has a problem, and she drops this line. I need to eliminate all competition if I'm going to have a chance with you. Oh boy. Let's go to the chat for a moment here. Check out Letters from to Jima. It's the Japanese perspective World War II movie. Also really good. Will do. That actually sounds good. What was the one early 2000s? I think it was just called Pearl Harbor, but it was the Americans version of that they made. I think that's got what's his name that plays? I can't think of him. I keep thinking Mel Gibson, but I know it's not. It's the guy who plays like Batman there. I'm trying to think. And like the Dark Knight and all that. I can't think of his name right now, but you know who I'm thinking of. Best World War II movie, Saving Private Ryan. Agreed. Schindler's List is classic. Love Schindler's List, by the way. And no, so a furry is like someone who's kind of like dressing up as like a fox. Not per se, but like you'll see sometimes like they'll just have like a furry tail that they'll have onto them. Sometimes they dress right up into costumes and like actually pretend like they're animals and things like that. Yeah, Ben Affleck, that's who it is. Thank you. And yeah, so in the Hairy Guys, not so well. Maybe actually, maybe I don't know if she's in the Hairy Guys, but could be. But yes, Ben Affleck. I couldn't think of that. There's a long pause and I eat my food, but she eventually breaks the silence with asking me, "Do you know what really breaks the ice? Getting intimate. Want to hear a personal story?" No. What wasn't already personal? She goes on about some past relationship. You shouldn't do that, by the way, too. Don't talk about past relationships on a date. You're supposed to like be moving forward with somebody. That's not the way to do it. Okay. Past relationship and how good it was until everything seemed fine until it ended with, he gave me herpes. Now that's all red flags. All the red flags he needs. I stand up and I tell her it was nice meeting her, but I have to leave. She follows me out and gets in my car with me. Of all the times I left the doors unlocked. Was he driving her home, though, is my question. She demands I drive her home. She tells me to pull into the grassy field, which had a dirt road I couldn't see either. The dirt road goes into the woods, and I expected it to come out upon a clearing with a dilapidated shack and a fire pit with animal bones and a bog, which she'll walk into. And sink into the depths of where she came. But no, it was a rather nice-looking house. But then she drops the line, "Yeah, I've been living here for the past 2 years with a guy I found on Craigslist." I pull up, she tries to kiss me, I push her back, I tell her to get out of my car, and I drive away. I still remember her silhouette waving to me in my rearview mirror. I speed home, took a shower, acid washed my face, burned my clothes, and cried myself to sleep until Sunday morning. A lot more has happened since that day, but that was the initial date. This date, gone wrong, had become a legend amongst my friends, and I usually end up telling it at every party. We all have those, by the way, too. I have dates that I will tell at parties, too, and I think they're hilarious to tell, because it's like, you know. Okay, clarify. I guess I should clear this up. I didn't go on more dates with her, just that the nightmare didn't stop after that. I ran into her twice more in public since that, and thankfully she never recognized me because I was in costume. Thank God. The first time I saw her, she was holding hands with some gangly-looking dude, and the second time I saw her, she was pushing a carriage. Clearly, yeah, had a kid there. A friend of mine who I told this story to met her at a Halloween party and drunkenly became friends with her. When I saw the photos of them arm in arm with each other on Facebook, I flipped my shit and told my friend he'd become friends with Bog Witch, who then promptly dropped contact with her. Sometime later, I had a falling out with this friend, and I guess in her version of a sick joke, texted me a picture of pregnant Bog Witch she found online, and she looks like a fat, gimpy hobbit. Wow. I showed some people the picture who don't believe me. And you're not getting it unless you catch them in person. That's pretty funny. Really good. Really good. That was actually a decent story. Yeah. Wow. 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 Best war movie, in my opinion, is We Were Soldiers. My uncle who's in. Okay. I feel like I've seen that. We Were Soldiers? You guys ever see American Sniper? That's a good movie too, bro. That's a solid film. Um, yeah, I'm seeing the trailer here. I'm trying to see if I've seen this before. I feel like I have, but very long ago. It's definitely like Vietnam, right? I feel like it is for sure. And I think they just like I thought I remember by looking at pictures. I think the Americans are at one point just completely overrun. Um, and yeah, some of them are really really well done. That's interesting though. That's another old Tom Hanks. He's in everything apparently. Or what's his face there? Not Tom Hanks. You know who I'm thinking of. Mel Gibson. But I'm just looking at the pictures of the movie. It's got like the big napalm strike there too. Like over here. Look at this. Like, man, that's crazy. Yeah, Mel Gibson. Yeah, this is like 2001, I think. I just said it was. That's pretty cool. Or 2002. I know I've seen this, but it's probably been so long. But that's definitely going to be on the list, man. And they're always like over 2 hours long. You know. I will say in the new one there, the All Quiet on the Western Front, I really love the portrayal of the tanks. Like they come out. It's like a horror movie in that movie when the tanks roll up, and you're like, dude, it's gonna get real in a second. Really real. All right. I just had one here. I just had one a second ago that I wanted to. Oh, I'm in the wrong tab. Okay. This one here, we'll just read this story here. We met on OkCupid, hit it off really well. She made cosplay video game weapons, which is kind of interesting. And it was funny because I'm a huge dork, and I did not know how to talk to women. We met for dinner and a movie, and sometime during the movie, she gets a call and sends us a voicemail. After the movie, and she checks her voicemail and finds out that her best friend has been in a bad car accident, and then she needs to go now. She freaks out, can't find her car, and I drive her in the parking lot looking for it while I struggle to think of anything to say to not, mess anything up. I called her once, twice after, but she never answered, so that's not really like a big date fail. But I don't think you would like plan it like that elaborately to get out of a date, especially when the movie's over. Like she like you can do that. It can be like if a date's going bad, call me at X time, and like if I answer or not, like make something up and I'll get out of there. But that's interesting. Ooh, excuse me. Oh my. Girl lied about her weight in her photo. When we met, she said she would hug me, but all four cargo pockets on the front of her jacket were filled with broken glass. I was then regaled with a 2-hour tale about her Harry Potter fan fiction, and all my attempts to politely change the conversation were brushed aside. It got to the point where I dropped all pleasantries and started chain smoking and texting other people. Does he mean pleasantries? She didn't really seem to mind and kept talking. I didn't respond when she asked me for a second date. That's pretty rough. Why she had broken glass in her pocket, I don't understand. That's interesting. Hmm. What's this? I'm just reading this. Okay, we're gonna skip that one. That you can read that, but that was just like it looked like some NSA action happening there. We don't need that. We don't need that. Oh, okay, here we go. We got a Match.com date. This isn't. I like a little variety in the sites, right? Match.com from a deleted user 9 years ago. The guy was immediately sort of creepy. Seemed perfectly normal via email. Yeah, that's kind of interesting too. Like that, she would say email, but it kind of was Match.com. Like plenty of fishy harmony, kind of like an email system back in the day. It wasn't really so much like you didn't log into a phone on an app, right? So it kind of makes sense. Like people would also probably be more willing to meet because like talking was on there was more of an inconvenience. But I traveled a good 45 minutes to get there, so I figured I'd at least watch the movie with him and pay for my own ticket. That's fair. I don't necessarily think it's like always means it, but like if you pay for your own ticket or you pay for your own dinner or whatever, it doesn't always mean you're not interested in them. But, we'll see. But I don't know. She doesn't elaborate on the sort of creepy right away. He had this weird look in his eyes that screamed awkward 27-year-old that has never seen a boob and is creepily close to his mother. I'm an awkward 29-year-old and I haven't actually seen a boob, but I know how to behave myself. I mean, if I wanted to see boobs by now, I probably could have. So that's kind of funny. I sat down with him and he put his hand on my leg. That's kind of like a bold thing to do right on the date. If you're like cuddling up at your house and watching like a movie on a third date, that's fine, but not on a first date. Yeah, I moved his hand away. He put it back on my leg and I moved it away again. He got the hint and we watched in silence for a little while. That's what you have to do to watch a movie. You don't talk. Later on in the movie, it was a Peter Jackson's King Kong. That's not a bad movie. Not a great movie, but not a bad movie. He puts his hand back on my leg, but his fingers moved to my inner thigh. Thank God I was wearing pants and not a skirt. I very quickly moved his hand and told him not to touch me again or I'd get up and leave. Bro, he's effing up big time. He just sort of chuckled and rolled his eyes and put his hand back on my leg. I slapped his hand away, stormed out of the theater, and he followed me right after going, what did I do? Oh, what an idiot. I had no intention of saying anything else to him, so when I was about halfway down the lobby, he put his hand on my shoulder and tried to stop me, and I quietly told him that if he didn't back off and stop following me, that I'd make a scene and I had no intention of associating with him anymore. He, of course, grabs my wrist, and I scream at the top of my lungs to get away. The whole place paused and looked at us, and some big guy close by got that stance that said if he touched me again, he'd probably kick his butt. Went out of there. He emailed me and texted me no less than 10 times a day for the next month. Classy. So he obviously, I don't know how you didn't get the message, but yeah, he didn't get the message, which is hilarious. That's crazy, man. Do people really do that on dates? Like, it's one thing if you, like, hold hands or, or, like, whatever, but you, like, very gentle or, like, you kind of bump into him a bit, but you get a feel for it in, like, body language, right? Like, you don't just do that. Man. Wowee. Okay, we got a couple. I think here. We got a couple stories here. I got one. Harry Potter chick, to clarify. Yeah, it's... I don't know, bro. I don't know what to tell you. I got one. I used OkCupid and other sites for a bit, and I met some winners. Above and beyond, the weirdest encounter was a girl that messaged me. It always is. It always is. A little backstory, I was near 300 pounds at the time the picture was taken. I didn't really feel the need to change it, as I hate pictures. I lost 100 pounds at the time. Lean and in shape. Okay, that's good. That's good. You're still kind of catfishing, though. I can't give all the credit there. Figuring this was okay at the most time, it's the opposite problem of gaining. And that is true. But you should kind of try to be honest with the person, right? We start chatting. This girl is a 9, almost a 10 for me. Dark hair, thin, has her own place. In internet dating, this is a gold mine. That's true. We set up a time to meet. Normally there's fat, to be honest. Normally we set up a time to meet in a local town where she goes to college. After work, I make my way over to said town to the Denny's. Isn't a Denny's a diner, right? That's what a Denny's is. Let me look that up. That's like a restaurant, right? Denny's is an American table service dinner-style restaurant chain. That's what I thought. I've been to the States a couple times, but I don't think we got one here in Canada, Nova Scotia. Yeah, nope, we don't have a Denny's. Cool, that's fine. Wendy's is better. But anyway, Denny's. She tells me that she's there sitting at a table by the window. I walk in and tell the waitress that I'm looking for someone I am meeting. You'd probably look around. I don't want to go up to a waitress right away. I am meeting. It's not too busy there, but there's several people. Suddenly I get a text. It's her. She says, "No thanks. I thought you were bigger." Turns out she was scoping me from the parking lot, and bigger guys were her thing. Other oddity. Oh man. Okay. Um. Oh, I think it's still the same girl. I think it's still the same girl in the next paragraph. Other oddities in dating was from Plenty of Fish. She was into roleplay and loved the Bonnie and Clyde, Harley Quinn, and Joker idea. Trying to expand my boundaries, and she was frigging hot. I say, okay, I'm still about 250 at this time. This must be a different girl. She knows how big I am, and it's fine. We talk on the phone, and we hang out at her place, and her friends are there, and we were getting along great. That's weird. They leave, and we are alone. She comes back with costumes of Joker and a skin-tight Harley Quinn costume. Sweet. We do the deed, and it's fun stuff. The deal breaker came in the middle of the night. She declined to mention she believed in certain things. I wake up to candlelight in her at the end of the bed in a black gown with tarot cards just murder staring at me. She screams, "You're gonna break my heart. I'm out." Bro, who are you dating these crazy women? The first one is interesting, though, that she scoped from the parking lot. That is such a rude thing to do. That she's in the restaurant, he walks in, he's lost a little bit of weight, and that's fair, he's kind of catfish, and I can give that to her as well, that maybe, okay, like maybe she does like a guy that is a bit bigger, right? I mean, I like a girl that's curvy, right? I don't want someone who's a toothpick, but I wouldn't text them and go, no thanks, they're there, they've met the time to come, they've taken the time to come see you. It's so disrespectful. Another winner was a heroin addict that told me she wouldn't put out except if we were married. That night, she drunkenly texted me to come over and bend her over a picnic table. What? Okay, we got a few more. Another one for Plenty of Fish. The girl messaged me and said she liked my profile, and I didn't seem like other guys. I was real shy, still and very socially awkward. However, I was beginning to get my life together. Weight was about normal again, and I had a good steady job. None of that really matters, as we never went on a date. Interesting. We're going to find out why. She gives me her Facebook, and we just start having a great time messaging. Really, this chick is a blast. She's all over the place, something I find endearing. Conversation just moves right along, and I guess I upset her when she just errantly says, I want some gobstoppers, just after talking about her cat. And I say, that's weird, and everything goes dark. Facebook removal, and Plenty of Fish blocked to her profile, just gone. You have to get used to that, I think, on online dating. It's really weird, and Plenty of Fish was big for that too, I find. I would just have, like, delightful conversations and then just get, like, instantly blocked over nothing. And I would never understand why. By the way, I'm gonna only stream for, like, another 10 minutes. I think an hour's good. I just want to, I want to cook dinner and watch Saving Private Ryan. So, I was only expecting an hour to hour and a half, so I think we'll do about another 10 minutes or so. So, I'll read a couple more stories, and I'll let you know when the last one's coming up so you guys can, prep yourselves for whatever you want to, what's going on. Yeah, okay. Last one. I started talking to a girl, and she was really in the throes of depression. Life had beat her into submission, which was really fine by me. Like, whatever. I was indeed a bad phase as well, so, you know, you're looking at trying to be lonely. The girl I talked to for about a week, find out I am working by her house, so she invites me over. Dude, just don't do that. Don't go over on a first date. I see it all the time. It seems great. We were hanging out watching TV, and it's about to winter storm. So I mentioned that I need to get going, and she asked me to stay shawning. What does that mean? Shawning? Shaun of the Dead? We're both bigger. This is the defining moment I went into weight loss centric. And things are easy for us, but we get it done. Okay, so they do the dirty. We enjoy each other. So for the next week, it's just us having fun, but she lives with her mom and stepbrothers. Everything about the stepdad was absent. Well, I have a pretty bad childhood, and some people took advantage of my drugged-out mom, and I stayed over at someone's house a lot. Barring going into it, I'll just say I was a victim of some pedos. This is important to the story. Please don't feel sorry for me crap here. Another time. Well, I told this secret pretty close to certain situations involving real life. People like the following actually exist. I tell her about my childhood, and apparently she told her mom. I get to her house one night about week 3, and her mom has a bat and is standing at the door telling him to pound sand. She doesn't want me around her boys because I may have urges to do to them what was done to me. She claims she talked to the police, and if I go inside, they'll arrest me for trying to have sex with her boys. Her boys are standing there with a WTF face. The girl I was dating is crying. I'm not mad at her mom. I'm mad at her or her mom, I'm sorry. I'm shocked. It was the first time something done to me had been held against me as an adult. That's really crazy, man. I don't even understand that. Like, he opened up about his past, and, you know, like, it sounds like being abused to some degree, and I don't understand. And he just absolutely made to be the antagonist rather than the victim. Wow. Wowee. Wowee. I had a friend, no longer a friend, that would try that crap all the time, and it was embarrassing to see. It really is, man. I've had buddies that do that too, and it's like, man, like I just tell them, I'm like, what are you even thinking? You know? Okay. Let's read this story, and I think that because it's a long one. Yeah, we got a lot to read here. This will be the last story, and then we'll just chat for a minute here. We'll talk about what's going on, and then we'll go from there. So my online dating experience has always been fun, to say the least. I went on dates with women of all cultures and experiences, and I met some profoundly amazing people in my life from online dating. With that said, there is one instance of truly crazy lady that almost ended it all. Sort of long story, but I'll cut it short. And I love that he says long story, but I'll cut it short. It's still like, like 8 paragraphs. So I just got on with a new company and was going to be traveling to another state on the company's dime. That's sick. Good for him. The company gave everyone a credit card that had a $52 limit per day. I also happened to get paid for my time down there, so you could say that I had a healthy amount of play money. I knew as soon as I got there that my first prerogative was to get a companion to tag along with me, because I didn't want to fool around with my coworkers, so I just opted out to just pursue online dating. I find this nice gal a plus-size model. She appeared from her profile description and pictures to be fairly normal functioning member of society, and oh boy, was he wrong. Terrifyingly wrong, apparently. So we make plans to do a hookah bar. Dude, I've never done a hookah bar. That'd be interesting. You ever see that on Bar Rescue when they do hookah? It's just like disgusting. So yeah, hookah bar and shoot the shit, just so to speak. I'm staying in a hotel that my company was paying for, and she rolls up in this beat up Cadillac, rust all over. I can only glance, but I think I see bullet holes in the side of her car. That's crazy. Bullet holes? That's gotta be fake, bro. Maybe it's not. Yes, there were actual bullet holes in the side of this piece of shit car. I tried not to think much of it. I was in a good mood and wasn't gonna let it ruin my time. Yeah, you shouldn't judge that too hard, but play it by ear. So I get in the car. Oh, that's interesting. Gets in the car on the first date. Now you have to remember that this is later in the evening, around 9 p.m., and I don't have a full picture of who was in the car with me at the time. She immediately floors it and we're off. The street lights start to form around her face, and oh my god, what is this thing in front of me? What appeared for me was not the woman I saw in my profile, but in fact the devil incarnate. This wildebeest of a woman. Unibrowed, omni-fat rolled, Sasquatch was... Oh wow, that's rough. I felt deceived and disgusted. She looked nothing like in her profile picture. Nothing. And she stank to high health. Man, like, personal hygiene on a date is so important, right? And this is why. The smell burned my nostrils like I literally felt like I was inhaling acid. It was rancid. I already knew this was going to be a disaster, but I already was in knee deep. So I persevered. I told myself that I was going to make friends and have a good time. I was determined to just have a good night on the town, so here we are, on the interstate, and this girl's driving like a madman. I'm gripping the seats with anticipation, and she tells me she's high. Oh my god, she pulls out a brick of weed and starts laughing, saying how we're going to have a good time tonight. That's probably legal in his state, too, or wherever he's from. Oh my god, I'm going to jail, but I just got this corporate job, and I haven't even started, and I know I'm going to jail. Behind us were fucking cops. Cops! I'm literally covered in sweat because she's driving like a psychopath, going well over 25 miles per hour the speed limit. He's in the States. She's loaded on drugs and a pound of dope in the car. That would be tense. Hey, thanks for coming in, 7 Men, 7 Step Survival. Thanks for checking out the stream, man. I do appreciate that. Thanks for tuning in. Somehow we got off the interstate and I'm alive. So she starts blabbing about how she's this super important person where she lives and how she's some sort of celebrity or whatever. Ugh, that's annoying. No big deal. No big deal. And she was in a movie with Seth Green for 5 minutes in a cameo. Dude, she's probably like one of those extras in The Walking Dead that's like in the back that just gets like blown up by an explosion. So that's interesting. No big deal. No big deal. Whatever. So I don't know if she's trying to impress him. We don't know. I couldn't listen because of how pissed I was that there wasn't much I could do at that point, so I just had to write it out. So I asked her where she modeled at, and she told me. I asked her if I could see some pictures, and she says she burned them in a huge fire that took the business out. I asked her if I could see her website, if her website of the photos, and she says that the website was taken down due to some criminal activity with the photographers. Bro, what's going on here? That's sketchy. I asked her about the bullet holes on the side of the car, why'd she have them, and she presents to take out this sketchy part of the city and tells me about how she got them in a gang fight she was in with her brother, and she shows me the knife wound on her belly. Man, he's with the wrong gal here. I felt like passing out. The date hadn't even started yet. So finally, what after felt like an eternity, we make it to the hookah bar. I start dialing frantically to get out of there, begging someone to pick me up. Nobody comes, and nobody picks me up. I reluctantly pace back and forth to the hookah bar. I needed to get out of there, so I lie and tell her that I left my wallet back at the hotel. She attempts to pay for me. No, no, I must insist. The gentleman always pays. What a good guy. And we leave. It's working. I'm gonna live. Then we get back to the hotel, so I'll be right back down in just a minute. She insists on coming up with me. And I make some BS excuse that only the company employees are allowed in the hotel, and then I should have jet to my room and lock the door. I texted her. I was like, yeah, I'm not going to be coming back down. She then proceeds to call my phone again and again and again. She was pissed. She sent me a text saying how she's going to wait outside the hotel and was going to stab me in the chest. A few minutes later, she apologizes and just wants some companionship for the night. She then apologized for lying about her pictures, then threatened me again. I ended up calling the police and hiding in my room for the rest of the weekend. I never spoke to her again. That's insane. I have never had a woman threaten me on a date, but I have definitely met a girl and she 100% did not look like the photo, and it's not always that good. And she could still be like pretty. It doesn't matter. It's you've completely like lied to me and pulled the wool over my eyes, because up to that point, you know, you would have believed you were meeting, you know, person A, and now you're not meeting person A, and that's really annoying actually. Wow. Man, I don't know what to tell you guys. I feel like a lot of these dates stories and shit like that, it's just like, I wouldn't say it's common sense, but it kind of is common sense. And like, I don't know how people just don't have common sense with this stuff. But yeah, just think about it when you're doing these things. I don't understand what's going on. Yeah, so I think that's gonna wrap it up for the stream. I think we did the hour mark. It's gonna be about an hour with the dating fails and stuff. And I mean, it depends. Oh, we're getting a little NordVPN there. Don't worry about that. Yeah, hour and a half I think is pretty standard. So what I'll do is, I think what we're going to try to do, is I might try to stream on Monday, because tomorrow's Remembrance Day, so we get a holiday, and I'm going to see that Wakanda movie tomorrow, so there'll be a shorts out for that, for a movie review. Hopefully it's good. It's probably going to be trash. Saturday, Sunday, I'm kind of booked up, and then I think Monday we'll try another live stream here. So what I'll do is I'll book it in the community tab, and then you guys obviously will see it, and it'll be like Monday evening, after work or whatever. If you guys are watching on YouTube and you've watched the hour there, I do appreciate it. Hopefully, again, you guys can see the live chat, which is a nice little feature. So you can see and I appreciate that. I had a lot of interaction this stream, which was awesome. So I do appreciate that. And I appreciate everybody watching. We still got a couple people in right now, too. So again, I much appreciate it. It does mean a lot. That's sick. And that's why I'm going to keep doing, I'm consistently doing the streams. I think we've been pretty good on them, actually, over the past little while. Like the last 2 weeks, I think they've been getting pretty good. So it just won't be a specific day per se. Like, it's not always going to be a Tuesday, right? It could be a Monday or a Wednesday or whatever, right? I mean, if it was really going to be, I'd do like Monday, Wednesday, Friday would be how I would want to do it. You know, and for an hour each or something like that. Yeah, so again, thank you so much for watching, everybody. I appreciate that. Check out the online dating videos there, man. I don't know if you ever want to promote them, you knock yourselves out, but that'd be sick. We're trying to get to that 1,000 subscribers, right? So we're gonna see what happens. And we're gonna end the stream there. So I gotta watch Saving Private Ryan, because we talked about it, and it's a good movie, and I haven't seen it honestly in like probably like pretty much since it came out. So that's gonna be an enjoyable watch. Peace. Just do the nod. You just go like that, right? Just keep doing it. How you doing? How you doing? That's how you say it to girls, by the way, too. When you hit on them, you're like, how you doing?